Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm working on a Klutch 1/2-inch drive. It's clanky, it's got a thumb wheel on it, and the selector kinda works, kinda doesn't, so I want to see if it's broke or if it's just dirty. Well, let's put it this way. It doesn't work. It turns just about halfway and that's it. I actually think this might be broken. So, let's open it up and see what we get. I see rust. Yeah, that's rusty there. That's rusty. Let's see if I can push this pin down. Now let's give it a little bit of some WD down in there. Well, that's all it really needed was some lube, but I want to take it apart if I can, if it'll come apart. Doesn't act like this one wants to come apart. If I can push that, if I can push that pin down all the way. See if I can get it halfway. Well, may not be able to get this one apart. Spoke too soon. That popped out a lot quicker than I wanted it to. There's the pin, the spring. Surprised I didn't lose it. It popped out of there so quick. You can see the wear pattern on the top of the pin. I don't like these square style pin. I'd rather have them the Protos and some of the other better brands are rounded. That one's square. I don't like that. So yeah, see, it just fell apart. Look how rusty it is. So that's why it's not working very well. Yeah, see, I don't like the design. That is a crappy design. No wonder it's catching a little bit right there. That should be smoother. I'm gonna polish it with the fiber wheel and the Dremel. That way I can smooth it out and make it as smooth as possible. It should work. Yeah, this thing's just rusty. Metal's not bad. It's a heavy metal. Teeth inside, are they any good? I'm looking to make sure I don't have some broken teeth. I don't see any metal. I mean, it's just a cheap ratchet. For those of you that, you know, like the high-end stuff, sometimes these little ratchets like this are good for brother-in-laws, loan out to people, your co-workers you don't like because you know they don't give you your tools back or in good shape. We all have them kind of people around us that are just idiots. They don't take care of their own stuff. Definitely not going to take care of your stuff. Actually, teeth-wise, look in really good shape. I mean, this is a universal build. Everybody made this style. It's got a little bit of wear on the edges right there, but that could be because it was rusty and dry and I cranked on it a couple times. See what the teeth are like on this one. I don't know who made Klutch brand, but it's probably somebody's store brand, I bet you. Can't tell if that's damage or just old dirt. Yeah, it's just dirt and grease. Yeah. Yeah, you can see the teeth on this one are in really good shape. It's not bad. There's almost no wear. You almost see no wear pattern. Little bit on the first and the fourth, but and that may be design. I think that might be design. That's not wear, that's design, I guess. But they're not. If you come across some of these, and some of these teeth here will be flat across the top or broken, and that's a sign of a lot of wear, or obviously if it's broken, then you know somebody's put a torque bar on it or something. All right, let me finish cleaning this up and using the Dremel. I'm gonna use the Dremel on it, make it smooth the best I can. We'll see what we got. Fiber wheel. I'll leave a link in the description. These things last forever. They're a lot better than the wire wheels. Alright, what I'm doing is I'm cleaning where that ring goes, this locking ring, because that's going to cause some drag. And then I'm cleaning here on the top of this body where it sits down in here and runs. I want it as smooth as possible. So I'm cleaning that up and give it a real nice smooth edge. This already is really smooth. It's really nice. So there's nothing I really need to do to that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this the best I can with the fiber, and then do the same to this. And then I'll clean the top up in here the rest with the fiber wheel to make it smooth. Everything will have a great smooth contact, and then when I put it together, it should operate really smooth. Alright, sorry, battery died. I polished this, the back side, I polished both sides. It didn't take long. It takes me like 2 or 3 minutes with that fiber wheel. And I polished this down in there and there. I cleaned this up real good. Made it to where everything is a really smooth fit. So, I'll show you while I got it apart. See that little hole that goes down in there? That's where that needle and spring goes, and it turns the pawl left and right. Normally what I try to do is compress the spring and needle past this point like that. Then I can pull this assembly out. But you got to be careful when you pull that assembly out. That needle and spring will come shooting out at you. So what I did earlier, I had it right in dead center and I pressed it down with that flat tip screwdriver and didn't realize it when I yanked on it and I pulled it out. It came out real quick. But anyways, this thing ought to be really nice. It's a 60 tooth ratchet. I know somebody out there is going to say, well, it's off-brand Chinese. Well, it probably is. There's no maker's origin, company origin, so more than likely it is Chinese. But like I said before, for a good used tool that you could loan to somebody, there you go. Don't give them your good stuff. Now, I polished this up. Already got some grease down in there. So yeah, see, it's real smooth. It just moves effortlessly. Now, I will dabble a little bit of grease down in this. Really doesn't need it, but I'll do it anyways. All I'm going to do here is just enough for metal to metal contacts. You can use oil. You do not have to use grease like I do. I use grease because I got a lot of it. I've used it for 36 plus years at work. That's what I like using. Now, this, when you put it together, you can just see it like that. See where that pin's at? Doesn't matter, it can go in any position, but just press the pin down and then push down like that. And that makes it to where this can turn left and right. I do not like the way that feels. It catches, it's too sharp in there. But it's just a good old used tool. This is not one I would use. This is not an everyday ratchet. This will be, I guarantee you this one's going to be a loaner ratchet. This is going to go with some of mine loaner tools or my way. I got a 1 or 2 toolboxes depending on what I'm doing or where I need to go. I call them away toolboxes. I have toolboxes in my vehicles, but I still have secondary toolboxes. Now, put this in. Just push the gear just a little bit. See, I'm using my fingernail pushing it, drives it in. Now, I did clean this up the best I could with the Dremel, and there's a little bit of grease here. So I'm not going to grease it. I'm just going to use what grease is already existing here and just slide this on. Oh, a lot quieter, that's for sure. Yeah, now it slides left and right. It's a little easier because when it's out of the head of the the paw sticks out too far. So, oh yeah, I like it. I meant Klutch, Klutch, no namers, no name of origin, company of or country of origin, so more than likely Chinese. It's a 60-tooth ratchet. It's got a thumb wheel on it. I kind of like the thumb wheels. Thumb wheels are really handy on some of the older style. Williams has got one. I don't know if Craftsman had one, but Proto had one. There was a couple of different manufacturers back in the day that made some real nice ones with a thumb wheel. That was back in the day when under your car hood you had a lot of room. You could stick your hand in there and you could do that without taking it off and spinning your nut or your extension. Anyways, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Just not a good video, but I've got, this is another part of that 42 cent. I got invested in that estate sale that I had. I bought a whole bunch of stuff for like $72, I think, and it averaged out to like 42 cents a piece for everything that was in there. And you know, for a good used tool, nothing super fancy. If you want something to, you know, loan to your son who doesn't put things back, or your brother-in-law that you really don't care for, or your neighbor that irritates the crap out of you and always borrowing tools, or something. I've given these away before. I've been out at one of the parts stores, O'Reilly's, and gentleman was having problems with his vehicle. I gave him some sockets and a ratchet. We got the alternator, and I left. Told me keep the wrench. He said he could give it to somebody or keep it for himself. You never know. You might need to do that to someone else. So anyways, something like that is what it's for. It's just a good old tool. It was just rusty. It wouldn't select because it was rusty. Now, like I said, it selects. It's not as smooth as I would like, but it still works. All right, guys, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Subscribe if you like. I bring old junk tools back to a good usable condition, and there's a prime example of a junky tool. Didn't work very well, and now it's usable. All right, guys, y'all have a good day.